The man that made Joe Morrison.
He would be absolutely nothing without me.
Did you wear a Superman suit in a game?
Yeah, last game of the season. I've always been an influencer. You know, I've always been a leader. I was the first one to wear goalkeeper's glove. I was the entertainer. He's the boring bugger.
Yeah.
You know, he's a boring bugger. You just listen to him about Salt Lake Stadium, blah, blah, blah. Who wants to bloody listen to that shite? What would you talk about if I wasn't here?
Hello and welcome to Thai Football. With me in the studio, as always, I have Joe Morrison and the man that made Joe Morrison.
He would be absolutely nothing without me. Let me tell you a story, shall I?
Go on.
All right, I'm going to. I remember I live in Oman. I live in Muscat. He lives in Dubai. He turned up one day. You know, would you come on my show? Blah, blah,
No,
blah.
that's not how it happened.
Yes, it did.
That's not the story.
Okay.
Tell your story.
We'll hear his version of the story and then you can pick holes.
his story will take days.
Your trap.
And at the end of those days, it'll be incorrect.
Your trap.
It'll not be true.
We're 30 seconds into the podcast, guys. Stop fighting. Let's hear your story
What
first.
he did, you know, see what I mean? They're putting me off, downing me.
Stop downing him.
me. You know, so that was it. You know, I said, okay, I'd never done television before. You know, I built him up after 2 or 3 years. I built him up to be an absolute star in India. You know, a huge star in India. You know, he booted me off.
Oh.
He wanted Peter Reid. He wanted
Someone younger.
God bless his soul, Kevin Campbell, somebody like that. Yeah, exactly. See what I mean?
Ungrateful git.
No, I'll tell you what happened. So
Your version of the story then.
This is the real version of the story. When the Premier League started here, we had a contract to broadcast the Premier League in the Middle East. And I needed guests and pundits. There was a budget for guests and pundits. That budget got removed for some reason. I think a sponsor pulled out at the last minute. So we had to get people who were here on the ground. We couldn't fly them in. And I was told that there was this guy called John Burridge, former goalkeeper in the...
Top-class keeper.
No, they didn't say that. They just said former goalkeeper. And there was sort of a question mark at the end of the word goalkeeper. From the Premier League.
Are you talking about the same goalkeeper that played a game wearing a Superman suit, was it?
Yeah, that's
Same
correct.
goalkeeper, yeah. Iconic.
Did you wear a Superman suit in a game?
Yeah, last game of the season.
You actually wore a Superman suit in a game?
Yeah, and you
like a proper
They
league
told
match?
me it was last game of the season. We've got up Wolverhampton Wanderers, right? Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. Last game of the season, we were going to get presented, you know, with our promotion cup, blah blah blah, and they told me they were going to give me the player of the season.
Player of the year.
Player of the year. So I'm on my way down. I stopped at the fancy dress shop. I walked in. He said, how much is it to use that for the night? He said, £20. There you go. So I took it down to the Molyneux 2 hours before the kick-off. I put it on and the lads were coming in. You know, Superman, big S on here, blue shoot. You know, my balls are hanging, you know, because the tights were a bit too tight. You know, and I've got a big pair of balls. And, you know, and they were sticking out like there's no tomorrow. And, you know...
Conkers.
Yeah. And I was walking about and Newcastle United were coming in. And, you know, coming in and everybody was laughing. It didn't
So you wore
really
it in the
matter.
game?
Wait a minute.
Well, I'll get to the...
Yeah, you know, Kevin Keegan says, you're not going to play in that, are you? Because I was in the tunnel just welcoming them in. And he said, you're not going to play in that. I said, no. He says, if you play in that, I'll give you £100. Yeah. I said, okay.
Worth it?
So I went out, you know, did me warm up in it, you know, and I came back, I put my boots on. He said I had to wear the black shorts, my Wolverhampton ones, the top was all right, blue and S on.
But Superman had red pants.
I put a piece of tape, I had red pants on. I put one on the back. Shorts.
Shorts is
Black shorts, Wolverhampton
Wolverhampton
Wanderers.
shorts.
Yeah.
But Superman
Get out
shorts
there.
are red.
I put number 1 on the back, which made it. You know, they were playing in black and white stripes. We were playing in all gold.
And they let you play the entire game wearing
Yeah.
that. Oh my God, I got it.
I played the whole time. To tell her, I took it off at half time.
Yeah.
I took it off at half time. I played the first half and then I took it off at half time.
So, well, you're talking about how you met him, so you obviously knew
How the
about
hell
this
did we get into a Superman suit story?
iconic character.
So,
So,
Because
We
there's
need-
so many British stories about me, that's why. She heard one that number. Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
we needed pundits, and we needed pundits who were here in the region. They didn't have to be flown in. And he was working as a coach, goalkeeping coach at Allain Football Club. And I had a number for him. I phoned him. I said, "Are you interested?" He said, "Yes, I'm interested. Come out to Allain, meet me, and you may as well come to the game whilst you're at it." It was a semi-final of the Asian Champions League. I rocked up at the stadium, and because it was a semi-final of the Asian Champions League, every single sheikh in the UAE and anyone that was a VIP was there at the game. And landing in the car park was a helicopter with His Highness in it, which blew sand on everyone.
Oh.
All of us who were outside the door. Budgie comes to the door with the tickets for me to get in the stand and go, Joe, bloody hell, Joe, where are you? So there's noise, there's sand, there's helicopter rotors going around in the background, and there's about 500 VIPs. Some of them were even getting their cards out, like their gold, platinum credit cards out, saying, I buy tickets. No, Joe, bloody hell, Joe, where are you? I can't see it. And then he just walked back inside as if I wasn't there. So I had to stand outside the ground for the whole game until the match was over. I never saw the game.
I
Never
thought
saw
you were
the
going to
match.
say he stepped out of the helicopter with his Superman uniform on. That's what you were going to say. Yeah, but I didn't.
That's how it started.
All right, so we'll take two versions of the story. And let's
He's
see.
right, he's right.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
right.
But you didn't meet then, as per this story.
No,
That was the first time we met, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the first time we ever
It
met.
wasn't the first time we spoke, but that was the first time we met.
And
Right.
I'd never done television before.
Uh-huh.
I'd never been on.
You could tell.
I'd never. I'd done interviews and things like that, short interviews, but I'd never been on television before.
Right.
He'd never spoken
I
for
was
longer than
very
one
nervous,
sentence.
like I am now.
Yeah. But you were broadcasting from Dubai, were
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
To India.
Right across Southeast Asia.
Oh,
So
really?
the Indian subcontinent and down. We actually went out in Hong Kong, Singapore, Hong Kong, Thailand, all those countries.
And
down
what was the format of the show for the uninitiated?
It was what you'd call wraparound shows for football matches. So at the
Right.
beginning, Premier League, then Champions League. Well, we had a whole bunch of rights, FA
Champions League.
Cups, League Cups, all that kind
Right.
of thing.
There is a fun Champions League story there, isn't there? The underdogs, Delhi.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah. That was nuts, wasn't it?
When
so,
was
so,
that?
so it was a Champions League final. It was Chelsea against Bayern Munich. And we went over there to do the show. The sponsor was, well, there's a whole bunch of sponsors, but Underdogs, the bar in Delhi, and a lot of people who are watching this will know it. It's like a sports bar. And they were going to host it. And the producers decided that they were going to build a sort of a mini version of our studio from here in Dubai over there.
Okay.
Like this backdrop.
Right.
But the executive producer, a guy called Jason, Aussie guy, great guy, he said, what's the point of us all going to Delhi for the studio to look exactly the same as it is in Dubai? We may
Yeah,
as well stay in Dubai.
Yeah.
So he turned the whole thing around and the studio became the stools in the audience, in the people in the bar.
All right.
So here's the kicker. They had planned for 400 people to turn up and to be in that bar. It was a ticketed thing on the night. There was nearly 2,000 turned up. And electricity went off.
And India crowds, we know how unruly they
Place
can be.
was crazy. Electricity went off. The game went
During
to extra...
your show,
during the-
electricity
dur-
went
dur-
off.
the
So
elec-
how were you broadcasting?
So thank God, one of the things that executive producer Jason and the team, the 10 Sports team, had decided we need a backup generator just in case.
Yeah.
And they did. Thank God. And obviously it kept going. But the thing about it was that the game went to extra time, the game went to penalties, and of course you can imagine by the time you're getting to extra time and penalties, everyone is 4 sheets to the wind. They were mashed. So when they won, the beer was being thrown over us. They had these big, remember the big burly security guards, the bouncers, like this security detail. So they were just off camera to the side. And when anyone was getting a little bit boisterous, you would see this big, strong arm just go in and pull someone out of the frame. So yeah, it was nuts. It was totally bonkers. And he decided, Adidas were one of the sponsors. He decided, they said, look, we want to do product placement, which is common. We want to put the Adidas boots, and it was Messi had just launched his new Predator. Yeah, they were Predators, I think, that night, and they wanted to put them on this plinth. And Jason went, look, it's bar, it's live.
It looks too choreographed.
It looks a little bit weird. Budgie goes, I'll wear them. So he was sitting in a suit with these football boots on for the entire show. And at the end of it, and because that was the very first night that'd been released to the world, because Messi was obviously playing in the final, the very first night that'd been released to the world, Adidas had this person dedicated to the boots so that they were going to take them away. Well, he walked off at the end of the show.
With the boots?
With the boots.
Do you still have the boots?
No, I played in them until October.
He just walked out and went home, went back to
pair
the
of
hotel
boots.
that night.
pair
With the
of
boots.
Yeah, aggressive. Why
Let me
not?
ride.
And the
Yeah.
Adidas representative is going like, where's the boots? I said, oh, look, the bar was crazy. Someone must have stolen them.
See, Budgie was an influencer before an influencer was a thing.
Yeah.
I've always been an influencer.
No, you
All
have.
my bloody life, I've always been an influencer. Even in my career, we won't go into that. We'll carry on with this theme.
Yeah.
I've always been a leader.
But you know what? On those lines, I have to say, randomly on Instagram when I was just scrolling, I saw these really old videos of you doing really weird warm-ups, handstands, and all of that, and it just came up, and I saw the name.
Back somersaults and everything.
Yeah, it's going viral again. If you didn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's
Flick
people
flacks
resharing it.
and all the rest of it. Barrel rolls and
the
What-
somersaults. and...
all that, I've always been a leader. I was the first one to wear goalkeeper's gloves.
Oh, really?
You know, the goalkeepers used to spit on their hands.
gardening gloves. They used gardening gloves before they got into goalkeeper.
Anything they can in the wet weather. I was playing for Aston Villa at the time, and we were playing in Bologna, and
Where's that?
Bologna.
Where is it?
Italy.
Okay.
God. And
Just checking.
And I went to a sports shop and seen these goalkeepers gloves, and I thought, oh, I'll have them. And I wore them. You know, in the first game of the season, the ball was dry, and
Did
know.
you pay for them or did you steal them?
No, I paid for them, and the ball
You didn't
ball
just
was
walk
dry.
out with them. Just
No,
walked
well,
out.
no, I've
There's
got
a running theme here of him walking out of places with
I
unpaid for sports equipment.
got the gloves all sport. I bought them in Italy, and I put them on for the first time ever. A goalkeeper was wearing gloves in England
Yep.
in dry weather.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You started that.
And then next thing I'm going to make him jealous here. I got a phone call, and I said, hello.
How does the phone ring? Has the bell gone in it? Has it?
Wait
Eh?
a minute. It was from Germany.
What, the phone?
Yeah. It was
The phone or the phone call? Oh, the phone
Call.
call. No, the
phone
The
call.
phone was from Germany.
the phone call.
That's why it's going.
And he said,
You mean
you know what he
dring,
said?
dring
He
is
said-
what you
know
mean,
he said?
dring,
You know what he said? We want you to wear all sport gloves. It was from all sport.
Yeah.
We'll give you £5,000.
Oh, all right.
£5,000, a year to wear those.
Just to wear the gloves.
And as many gloves as you want.
Yeah.
What year was that?
70s, early 70s. No, not early 70s, mid 70s.
That was a lot of money, wasn't
Shut
it?
your trap.
I'm just
telling
saying
the
it.
bloody story.
Well, sorry.
Yes.
You know what?
Sponsorship deal.
I had the
Yep.
England goalkeeper, once I wore them. I had the England goalkeeper, I had Ray Clements, I had Peter Shilton. Budgie, where do you get these gloves?
Oh,
You
you're
know-
still on the phone, are you? Is that
Still
oh,
on
right.
the, I'm still on the phone, yeah. And it's blowing my off. Can we get some gloves from you, Budgie? I said, okay. So I was giving them the numbers all sport. And the next thing, all the goalkeepers in bloody England were wearing Ulsport gloves because of bloody Budgie, the trendsetter.
The trendsetter,
Yeah.
the influencer.
The influencer.
Oh,
you
yeah.
taught me influencer, and that is truth. That is a true story.
How did we
I was
get
the
onto
first
that?
one.
Right. Anyway, coming back to the games, now that the phone has been kept down.
Yeah.
Calcutta derby.
I wonder if that's an actual
It was
ringtone.
a German phone, as he said. You don't know. But tell us about the Calcutta derby experience. As we know, all the derbies in India, it's wild, right? We spoke about the Mohan Bagan one earlier. Yeah, so tell us about that experience, because as much as the people are really involved and the fans are really involved, we know that the infrastructure isn't all that great all the time.
Bloody hell, yeah. The infrastructure was terrible, wasn't it? So basically, they'd built this platform made out of bamboo with just a piece of wood on the top of it on the third tier at the Salt Lake Stadium. So it's quite high. It's like probably 100 feet above the pitch, but there was nothing around it. It was just the platform. But here's the thing. It wasn't level. It had like this slant on it. And they'd given us chairs with wheels on.
Oh, no.
And where the green room was for our sort of like, our relaxation area, our lounge area before the show was way down in the bowels of the stadium. Well, anyone who's been to Salt Lake will know that if there's people in the crowd and if the stadium is full, getting from there to there, impossible. It takes you 3 hours. So we had to stay up there. So once we got in position, we had to stay there. He decided that he wanted to have a pre-show nap and lay down on the edge of the platform. Remember, 100-foot drop over the edge to the pitch, and fell asleep. So we had to get one of the producers to watch him, because all I was thinking about was, he's fast asleep. He might just sort of roll over on his side, like.
Couldn't you wake him up and bring him?
Well, he needed his nap. He needed his.
And then, I have to have a nap all the time. Build up my energy.
Right.
He had to have a nap before the game. So that's where it started. When it got to the actual thing, you talk about infrastructure. All of the cabling from cameras, lights, any bit of kit that was up there, and there was a lot of kit up there, went into one socket. The kind that you get, when you put your kettle and your toaster and, one of those things.
But for these massive
For
cameras and lights.
there was a whole bunch of kit, computerized kit and all the rest of it. And someone tripped over the cable and knocked the whole thing off air at one particular stage. And thankfully it went unnoticed because we just happened to be in the ad break at that particular time.
How fragile, right? Just one person. It takes one person walking over a cable for the entire thing to come down.
It was totally bonkers because either side, on one side, about sort of maybe 20 yards to our left was all the Mohan Bagan fans. 20 yards to our right was all the East Bengal fans.
Yeah.
And then there was this police cordon down either side, so maybe 20. You remember the guys in the brown uniforms? There was about 20 or 30 of them down one side in the line, next to the fence. Same on the other side. And then there was like the company had their own security cordon as well. So like, personal protection guys. And someone, the night before, we did an interview with a local news channel, and Carlton basically had said, Mohan Bagan are useless. There's no way they're going to win this game, which was a typical sort of opinionated statement, but it was on the game. And someone during the match had kicked off the step, because it's a crumbling stadium, or it was at that time. They'd kicked a chunk of concrete off the step, broke a chunk of concrete off, and threw it at the set.
Oh my God.
And we never saw this because we were live, you're in the zone, it's all, and only when they came to de-rig the place and shut all the cameras down, here was this chunk of concrete that someone had tried to throw at Carlton. And how it didn't hit us, a cameraman, a producer, to this day, I still don't know.
It's a whole safety hazard, that stadium. How is that legal?
When there's 120,000 in there, it's bonkers. The passions. There was a few people that had been on the drugs. A lot of people that had been on the drugs. It was absolutely mental.
Can I ask you then, and maybe Budgie, I'll start with you. Why do you think you guys were so popular in India? You all broadcast for years.
Oh, that's an easy question. I was on. I was on television. I was the entertainer. He's a boring bugger.
Yeah.
He's a boring bugger. If just listen to him about Salt Lake Stadium, blah, blah, blah. Who wants to bloody listen to that shite?
Actually, before I answer that, there's one thing I do have to tell people that maybe they don't know this story. We stayed at the Hyatt Hotel, which was very near the stadium. Grand Hyatt, I think it is, in Calcutta. And
We're both falling off.
And on the day we checked out, so when you went into your hotel room, you know how when you go into hotel rooms, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the tables and the desks, and it's, if you don't want to use your towels, put this sign up. If you would like to use the in-house spa elements, do this. And then there was these bottles of wine and bottles of water.
You shook them.
And the thing, no, wait. There was a bottles of wine, and it had a tag on it, a little note saying, if you would like one of these bottles of wine, then call down to reception and we will, you can have it. You got to pay for it though, purchase it. Anyway, we're checking out. The day we're checking out, we get to reception. I check out. Thank you, Mr. Morrison, blah, blah, blah. Jason, executive producer. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Carlton. There's your final bill, blah, blah, blah. Budgie gets there and they go like, thank you, Mr. Burridge. Here's your bill. And he's like, what? Joe, bloody hell, Joe. They've charged me for this. And I said, Budgie, did you take any of those bottles from the room? He says, I did. I thought they were free. And I said, Budgie, they're not free, right? If you give the manager, and the manager's standing there, by the way, because we made a complaint. The manager standing, he said, look, if you give the guy the bottles of wine back, or you can purchase them, but if you give them back, they'll be taken off your bill. I said, yeah, no problem at all. He opens his suitcase to get the bottles of wine out. Out falls toilet rolls, pencils, the bedside pads, the pad of writing paper on the thing, the dressing gowns, the slippers, the hangers from the cupboard. And the thing about the toilet roll was it bounced out of the suitcase, rolled across the floor like out of a movie, rolled across the floor and down some steps. Literally unraveled itself for about 100 yards as everyone just watched it in slow motion go.
He loves Downey immediately. He'll absolutely.
That is very funny though.
And the thing was, he was just oblivious to this, got the bottles out and went, there you go, there's your bloody wine, now take it off my bill.
See,
whilst we're standing there going,
what
about the rest of the
what
stuff?
would you talk about if I wasn't here?
Eh?
What would you if I wasn't with you?
I mean,
What
it was
would you talk
literally, if you
It's
walked
true.
up to the room, I would be amazed if even the mattress was on the
Oh my
bed.
God.
He took everything, the sheets, the pillowcases, everything.
He's a hotel lifter.
about? Correct.
Oh yeah, and
Bloody
proud.
right, bloody
Sorry,
hell.
that was the Calcutta experience.
Oh
What
my
was
god.
your question? I forgot.
Oh, even I forgot. Oh no, my question was why you guys were so popular in India, because everyone knows you guys, the trio, and you said it was you.
It was
I get it. I
like
get
you
it.
say, like this podcast here. You
Yep.
know, like this podcast. He's doing all the talking, and it's me who's doing the only entertaining. And it's the same. It was the same on television.
Yeah, he
Well,
was the
I think-
boring one.
I
It
think
was,
to
it
give
was
you
a boring asshole.
Yeah, how do I follow that? To give you a serious answer, I think it's having the right mix of characters because Carlton was great, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
Carlton was absolutely
God
great.
bless him.
He
you're dead now, you know.
no, he's not. That's Kevin Campbell.
All right.
I thought
God damn it, man! We're now sending people to their graves before they.
nah.
No. God bless Kevin Campbell,
Campbell.
who did pass away, and Carlton Palmer is still alive, by the way. So, he's saying to me that King Charles is gone or something next. Right. Anyway. So yeah, on a serious note, I think it was about having the right mix of personalities and characters, and Carlton and Budgie were brilliant in that. But here's the important thing. It was very deliberate what we did because it's late night India. Remember, we're talking about Champions League here. Midnight kickoffs, midweek, so school nights, work nights. So how, and obviously football's not the number one sport in India. So how do we made a specific play that this had to be high energy and high entertainment. You couldn't do your stereotypical tactics-heavy shows, serious, heavy shows, because you just lose the audience. And this is the most important bit, we weren't pretentious. There's a lot of TV shows where they absolutely love themselves. And what I mean by love themselves is...
You do? You love your bloody self. What are you talking about?
What I mean by that is they think they are the and only authority on the game, on the teams, on the topic of football.
And do you have such characters in TV today? Football, especially Indian football.
No, not at all.
Pundits?
No.
No. Do you have any favorite pundits, Indian or otherwise?
I love Roy Keane. I wish I'd worked with Roy Keane because he has that same
than
amount.
me.
Huh?
Better than me.
Oh, without question of a doubt.
Shoot your trap.
I think that he has that right mix of being self-effacing and serious, but at the same time also having a laugh as well. The closest thing that I've seen that had the mix that we had, and we're going back 10 years, by the way, is that CBS Golazzo, where they've picked the right characters, Mika Richards alongside Thierry Henry, alongside Jamie Carragher, you know, that mix. You've got one who is, you need the patsy.
The what?
The what?
The patsy is someone who's prepared to have the mick taken out of them. Patsy, not pansy. You need someone who's prepared to laugh at themselves and is prepared. And Mika Richards is that on that show. They always dig him out. They always throw barbs at him. He takes it. He comes
Like
back.
me.
That character, yeah, it was like you, yeah. He is that character, and he's really important. But there's a lot of shows where they're trying to fake chemistry. They're trying to put people together that just would never. I always say, would you go on holiday together with these guys? And well, of course, we kind of did. You know, Carlton, myself, Budgie, when we went to Calcutta. Oh, you remember Carlton at the airport?
No. Been dead.
Has he been dead all along? Does he even exist, Carlton?
So when we were leaving to go to Calcutta for that show, the Derby show, we're at the airport here in Dubai. And we were there early, myself, Jason, Budgie, and Carlton was late. And he said, we basically said, look, since he's not here, let's pretend, because we all flew economy class, let's pretend that we've managed to get business class tickets, but we got the last 3 and there's only 1 economy seat left. So when he gets to the airport, tell him, look, Carlton, you weren't here. You know, we had to assign them. They had to put them in the system. So he arrived, said, look, this is what's happened. He went bananas, didn't he? I'm not getting on the plane. I'm not getting on the plane. If they don't get me a business class seat, I ain't flying.
Yeah, I can remember that.
We were in stitches. Sorry, I digress.
Do you have a favorite pundit now then, who you would work with, Joe? John?
He's right about Roy Keane. He's very, very well, very good. You know, there's a lot of...
Do they bring physical and intellectual energy to the show? And if the answer to both of those is no, they shouldn't be on TV.
No.
And there's a lot who shouldn't be on TV.
No, they like I say, Roy Keane's very entertaining. He says what he thinks.
Yeah.
You know,
he's opinionated, he's entertaining, he is a laugh at the same time. He's not just all serious. You got Ian Wright alongside him who's got good energy. Jamie Carragher's a waste of space.
Yeah, you want to give Roy Keane, you know, he's one of these people that you want to flip and smash him, right?
Yeah.
you want to put him, you want to put in... But
you see
he incites an opinion then, you know, that's good.
Yeah,
but that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's your job.
That's your job.
And we used to get it where you'd get literally 50% of the audience going, I love Carlton Palmer. I absolutely hate the fat bald guy. That's what they called him. I hate Budgie. They used to call him Onion Budgie.
Yeah, but I loved it.
They genuinely thought he was named after the onion
After
budgie.
the food.
After the food. I hate him, and 50% who would go like, I absolutely love that budgie guy, but I hate Carlton Palmer, because you're generating emotion.
Yeah.
You're driving that conversation.
Yeah, and we've lost that magic in today's TV, haven't we, a little bit?
For sure.
Stale,
For sure.
bland.
Yeah, for sure. They should get me back.
I think you should be a regular on this show.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're exactly
You see,
Why
right.
not?
You see, right from day one, so the suit thing, when he did his very first shows for the Premier League seasons, he said, what should I wear? And I said, wear a suit. Yeah, because that's what it was back then. No one wears suits and ties now. You know what he turned up with? He turned up with a fake Armani suit that was made out of this material that was like shark skin, right? Now, if you can imagine a Bond baddie, you know, a James Bond movie baddie, the ones that come up like this.
Did he have an eye patch as well?
Oh, he may as well have done. He may as well have done.
You know what?
So
You know why?
Why?
He bloody wouldn't pay me enough to buy a flipping Armani suit.
So it actually...
So it was a fake Armani.
It actually
It was a
had-
fucking fake Armani.
And
Trying
the
to
reason
look good for him.
the reason you knew it was fake was because stitched into it was little words Armani, all over it. And of course, you know, an Armani, so a real Armani suit would never have that. Anyway, he had this. It was like a shark skin,
Yeah.
like a scuba diver suit. You know, that kind of material. So anyway,
Do you have a photo of that? I think we need to show
wish
them.
we do. We need to find someone. So anyway, we're doing one of the first shows, and as you know, when you're in a studio, there's lots of lights like there is in here. It's hot. Well, of course, if you're in a scuba diving shark skin type material, he's starting to sweat. So what he did was, understandably so, we did the build-up show, got into the game, and he goes, bloody hell, George, it's bloody hot in here, Joe, bloody hell, I'm going to take your jacket off. So he took his jacket off, shark skin, and took his pants off as well.
All right, I remember that.
Yeah, so he took his pants off, but what he did was...
It looks like it's a pattern. He was doing that just before we went on air today. He was literally doing that.
He took his pants off like a 6-year-old boy would take them off. You know how they just push it down to their ankles and then lift their legs out like this? Well, of course, what happens is your trousers are then inside out, right? So anyway, we watched the first half. Director says in my ear, right, guys, 2 minutes and we're back live. Well, he starts to panic. He can get the jacket on, but he can't get the pants on because they're inside out and they're this shark skin sticky thing. So I'm like, Budgie, come on. Bloody hell, let's go. 30 seconds, 15 seconds. And he's, Budgie, leave the bloody trousers. So
I remember this.
We were behind a desk, which was kind of the same height as this. So he just left the trousers. He couldn't get the trousers outside back in. Does that make sense? And he sat down, and like all TV shows at that time, they were presented on one side on an angle and then your two guests.
But it was waist up, was it?
It was all waist up.
Okay.
So it was fine. So there was no drama. But here was the thing. He was the nearest pundit to me, and he was sitting in a pair of apple catchers that were about 20 years old and were just full of holes, right? So I'm trying to ask him a serious question about a 2-footed tackle in the first 45 minutes, and all I can focus on is this conker that's hanging out the side of these 20-year-old apple catchers.
Such a big one.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation with a serious pundit about a serious incident in the first 45 minutes.
As big as me.
And he's sitting there with these 20-year-old underpants from Marks and Spencer's that are, like I say, are holy, full of holes. And, oh, God, I cannot work with this. And that was one of my first shows with him. So there you go.
I would have chuck him off and showed the audience it. The skid marks.
Oh, no, not the skid marks again.
No.
But, oh my God, that was hilarious. Unfortunately, it's time for us to say goodbye. But on the note of hoping that you never have to take your pants off again.
Definitely.
On air or off. Thank you, Budgie, for joining us here. I think you definitely need to come back and be a regular on the show.
No problem.
As you say, you're the life and fun. He's the boring one.
He's the boring
He hasn't got any
bastard.
pants on now.
Yeah, seriously, I haven't. I haven't only brought one pair of undies and I couldn't get them. It's a bloody good pants as a flipping skiddies.
Oh dear, someone take me now.
Oh no, we need to do the Superman. We need to get him pants and you wear it over it.
Next time I'll come on with the Superman.
Yeah, we gotta do it.
Something.
Let's do that. Yeah. Thank you, Budgie. Thank you, Joe. And thank you, audience, for watching us again and tuning in one more time. Bye.